Back to Assassin's Creed Syndicate. We're going to talk about an interesting topic today. At least I find it interesting, and it's while I do a couple missions, and it's to do with. Well, I'm going to use this game as an example. A lot of people I've met have been very, very surprised, at least those that are Assassin's Creed fans, when I mentioned that this is my favorite. Of all the Assassin's Creed games, this one is my favorite. And it's really, it's less to do with, well, there are certain reasons why, to do with gameplay and characters and whatnot. But it's not as much that as you might think. It's more... Ooh, what should I use? There's a more cogent reason why I think that. Why I... Some days I can't speak. But there's a much more interesting aspect to it than just gameplay and characters and whatnot. And it's something that I generally call the jerk factor. Great name, isn't it? And it's to do with character creation. How characters are created and presented and all those aspects of it. It's too far away. So when you typically... So, one interesting part about character creation is that... Oh, okay, good. He is in sight now. What the... He's not quite there. Oh. So aggravating. Wait, there he is. There we go. Okay, got him. So, when the thing that appeals to just about every single character that appeals to most people is that these characters can and often do things that we, as normal human beings, can't do. So... We like characters who tell their bosses off because, we're not in a position to do that. We can't just go tell our boss off. We can't just say, okay. We have a job, we have responsibilities. And as such, it's just not a feasible thing for us to do. And so we admire the character that can do that. And I think that's everyone. Cool. So, yeah, we admire that in a character that... yeah, that they can tell the boss off, they can do all the stuff we would want to do. And it extends to, physical abilities as well. We admire superheroes, we admire, the assassins in this game. Because there's so much that they can do. The parkour alone is incredible. So, like I said, it's, that's one of the things we admire in characters. That's what appeals to us when we create these fictional characters, is the idea that they can do things we normally wouldn't be able to do. Now, what happens in a lot of shows, in the wrong button there, is that it gets taken too far. I'm surprised that didn't go. So we get essentially jerks. Instead of good characters, we get guys who are complete and utter jerks. And you can see it in a lot of the entertainment. And, instead of us being able to watching, or in the case of video games, actually being able to be these incredible characters, we find ourselves playing and being jerks. And that's never very good. You know, one of the great things about video games is we can be these incredible characters. We can be, you know, these great heroes. We can be the white knight that rescues the princess. We can be all these just awesome people. Ooh, I wonder if I can make that. I think I can make that. Okay. So, made it. So, yes, like I said, we can, you know, that's the most awesome thing. We can be these great characters. However, oftentimes these characters become jerks. And Assassin's Creed is probably the worst game I've ever played in that regard. Of having these characters that should be pretty awesome characters actually coming off as jerks. And let's see. Seal cargo. And so anyway. There's more fun stuff to do. So, like I said, we have all these jerks. And yeah, Assassin's Creed has, for whatever reason, they've had more than their fair share of jerks in these games. They've had just an exceptional amount of people who are beyond jerks. They are not decent human beings at all. And that, let's see, am I close enough to... Nope, not close enough to her. Yeah, I better just, you know, take stock of who's where and whatnot. And it is. It's actually kind of amazing. So, you know, to do as kind of an example, and this is really one of the reasons I like this game over other games in the series, I should say, is there's the characters in this one that you can play aren't really jerks. The character I'm playing, Evie, has no real sign of it. Now, Jacob, to a certain extent, yeah, he's a jerk. But he's less of a jerk in the traditional sense, especially when you compare him to such characters as Edward Kenway from the Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and have him be more... He's, like I said, less of a jerk and more of a... Yeah. Okay, sorry, just shooting at people. But yeah, he's, you know, more of a foolish, you know, youth, basically. He's, you know, all of the stuff he does seems more relatable to the foolishness of youth rather than, you know, because he's a horrible or bad person. And let's see. Yeah, he's still angry. I'm gonna wait him out. Okay, we're good. And so I find these characters much more interesting to get to know, to play, that sort of thing. Ooh, I wonder if I can get that one to blow up from here. Let's try it. Eh, not quite. But so it's just kind of interesting that they would have so many characters that are jerks, that they would overcompensate. Where's my gun? This character creation process, and instead of creating awesome characters, they would create people who are just jerks. And yes, I'm looting the bodies. And I think, it's very easy to get that wrong. I think that's why that happens. So, it's very easy for confidence to become arrogance. It's very easy for, essentially, yeah, respectful behavior to become disrespectful. And it's a very, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like real life. It's very easy for things like that, for things to go wrong in that regard, as it is in real life. So, I'm going to continue to blow things up while I'm discussing this. Because I like blowing things up. It's just fun. I think you have to get just the right angle to make sure it blows up perfectly. So yeah, that's pretty much what I had to say about... Ah! Come on, Evie. Sometimes you just can't do that. And yeah, I don't have much else to say about that whole process, outside of the vague hope I have, darn it, that the new Assassin's Creed game will have less jerks in it, will have enjoyable storyline, and so on, but considering that this game, out of all of the Assassin's Creed, was not the most popular, we'll just go with that, then I don't hold out that much hope, but here's hoping that there are less jerks in the next Assassin's Creed, as not. Yep, and really, that's all I have to say today about jerks. Like and subscribe if you like it, and I will see you in the next game. Bye.